as you can see, already started, but yeah, this is probably the last speech I'm delivering in front of a crowd in Pune, and hence really emotional for me. At this point, I'm just hoping that I don't burst into tears again on stage, so if I do, sorry about that. But yeah, last time. So, as has been said earlier, 2015, first year Utopia Mall United Nations, and ever since I started that, a lot of questions used to come up to me, that why do you do this? Like, why do you do Utopia Mall United Nations? Like, not in a bad way, but just, like, why? क्यों करता है ये क्या है Utopia MUN क्या करता है? And I always give the same answer. It's a great way to educate the youth about international issues. It teaches students how to be great diplomats, encourages Man culture in Pune, gives students an opportunity to explore public speaking. And yeah, to be honest, it makes more and more people know my face, know my name, and every year gives me a good source of small income. At this point, I can literally feel the disgust and cringe in each one of yours mind that Sala ye fir aa gaya PR karne apna khud ka, trying to show himself as like, this righteous guy, trying to look cool in front of stage. Oh wow, I give the youth an opportunity. But you know what? Not this time. As I said, last speech, I'm taking this opportunity to come clean. Yes, the reasons which I talked about are definitely reasons why I do Utopia Model United Nations. They do play a part every year. But like, literally in no way are these the driving force behind what Utopia Model United Nations is today. If those were just the reasons, I wouldn't be standing here today, I wouldn't be talking in front of you. So yeah, why do I do it? The real reason, moments. What are these moments? I'm pretty sure you guys are confused as hell right now, but let me explain. Yesterday I walked towards the end of the second session down the fourth floor, and I see the rose stall, and I see 5 or 6 girl volunteers sitting there in a circle, giggling about something, and I'm wondering, what's the joke? I move closer, and I hear they're talking about some cute guy who they saw in some committee. And that joy which I could feel radiating out from them, like, these people didn't know each other 6 hours before, and now they're like crushing over some guy together. That's a moment. A few months back, I was all the way in the US sitting in my class. I was just going through my phone. Yeah, that's what we do in class in the US. But opening Snap stories, and I see 3 of our OC members sitting together at Menchie's High Street enjoying frozen yogurt. And I think to myself, I remember back like a year ago, I was interviewing these people and they didn't know each other at all. And today they're like best friends chilling in Menchie's with each other. That friendship which got built, that's another moment. So yeah, Siddharth and few of my other best friends, back in 4th, 5th grade or something, we just talked about how one day, just for a prank, let's go give a rose to one girl. Like all 3 of us within one day, we'll just give a rose to a girl. And today we did it. That's another moment. After Utopia MUN 2016, I get an email. I've actually written that out. I'll just read it out. So, I enjoyed UMAN tremendously and learned about a field, international relations, that I completely had no idea about. I'm actually now considering a career in diplomacy, all thanks to Utopia MUN. That's another moment. A boy and a girl are walking from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, even though there are no committees on the 2nd floor. That's also a moment. People telling them, when I ask a person, how do you know this particular person? They go all like, I met him at UMAN last year. That's a moment. I walk down committees and I see people clapping in the classrooms. I go peek inside, a resolution is passed. That's another moment. And just now, just an hour ago, I'm walking up and down the hallways of the 4th floor trying to think about what I'm going to say over here. I come downstairs, I walk into this hall, and just before I walk in, I get this. Who gives it to me? I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but he just stops me, Shaunak. Thank you so much, Utopia MUN was great. One of the best moments, one of the best feelings I could ever have experienced. It's these moments, these moments which ultimately turn into memories, which last my entire life, and that's the reason, that's the sole driving reason behind why I do Utopia Model United Nations. And yeah, the most important moment of them all, and probably the last time I'd be doing this, is saying goodbye. and saying this sentence: "This was Utopia Model United Nations 2017." But again, Utopia MUN is nothing without such a tremendous amount of people, and this will take time, but I please do request you to sit through it, because each of these people is so important, not just to me, but to this entire organization. So yeah, firstly, all of you delegates, especially those loyal delegates who've been coming to us year after year. As was said earlier, without you, this conference is not a conference. It's just a group of 20 people dressed up in suits and bickering amongst themselves. So a big round of applause for all the delegates of Utopia Model United Nations. You guys did a fantastic job, as always. Secondly, members of the executive board. As you guys heard, many of them are three-timers. They've been with Utopia MUN right since the start. I started my MUN career in 2014, and at that time I didn't know anyone. But then one by one, month after month, I met more and more members, and that's how they formed the executive board this year. Thank you guys for sticking with us every year. Without you guys, we wouldn't be having such amazing debating committees. So yeah, big round of applause for the executive board. I don't think a lot of you know this, but this school is where I personally did my 11th and 12th grade, the Orchid School. In fact, not just doing my 11th and 12th grade, Orchid MUN was the first MUN I attended back in 2014. The windows in which I was sitting and writing this closing speech was where I came up with the idea for Utopia MUN the first time. So this place has such a huge place in my heart, and a huge thank you goes out to all the administration of the Orchid School. They helped us at every single turn over here. They gave us this auditorium, they gave us a multi-purpose hall. Well, they're a school and they let us host a socials, which is a whole new thing. And so yeah, huge thank you to the Orchid School. And while we're at it, I would also like to thank the caterers of the Orchid School, the Sai Narayan caterers and Shankar sir, the ancillary staff, all the mausis and the kakas who helped keep the premises clean, as well as the security who helped keep us safe. Nothing happened to us, thankfully. So a big thank you to all of them. And special shout out to Ganesh sir, who's been helping us with all of our logistics throughout the conference, right from the time we approached Orchid to be the venue for our conference. Next, like this reason, like this person I want to thank, or these people I want to thank, are the reason I'm standing here today, like, or the reason I'm standing anywhere in the planet Earth. It's because of my parents and my family. You know, a lot of times you hear about kids saying, "Arey, mummy allow nahi kar rahi hai, Utopia MUN kaise aau, MUN kaise karu, football kaise karu." I personally have never experienced that in my life. I've never heard that. Whatever I wanted to do, be it start something completely new, even though I was just entering a new school and just entering a whole new world of my own. My parents, both my mom and my dad, who are sitting right here, my father hasn't been able to come because he's not in the country, but I've just heard yes and yes every single journey, every single way of the journey. And without that, as I said, I wouldn't be standing here. So please, a huge round of applause for my mother. Yeah, Pooja, I've not forgotten you, don't worry. So a lot of you might have seen this girl standing right here who looks like my younger sister. In fact, she's 23 years old. But she has been as much a member of the organizing committee as has been any of the people here. I was away in the United States, she was here, she was helping each and every organizing committee member whenever they needed foot on ground. She has been here both days of the conference, helping wherever, chairing wherever, trying to make sure that I'm fine. Obviously, I'm a brother, she knows the emotions going through me at any point of time. She'd come up to me, talk to me. And yeah, best sister I could have ever asked for. A huge round of applause for Pooja. Next, very importantly, so last year there was one issue which we as a conference did receive, which came to our attention, which was our volunteers probably weren't the best bunch of people which we could find. But this year we definitely did find the best bunch of people we could ever find. Huge shout out to the 30 volunteers. So fun fact, I've been doing this every year. But the night before UMUN, I sent a message on the UMUN volunteers group saying that, "Hi guys, thank you for helping out with Utopia MUN. warning you from now, I do not sleep the night before the conference, which is why the morning of the conference I'm extremely cranky and may just end up shouting and abusing you for no reason at all. But this year they didn't even give me the chance to do that. I've shouted at people for like the stupidest reasons over the past few years. This year I didn't have to at all. At every step they were the most cooperative people I could have ever asked for to help out for this conference. Great job done by the volunteers. Again, please, huge round of applause for the volunteers. That being said, there were a few specific volunteers which our HR team has asked me to point out and has asked me to recognize because of their immense work. Everyone was undoubtedly amazing, but these people went the furthest step, even if that's possible, and contributed even more to our organization. So the first, once I recognize you, I would really love it if you could stand up. The first person I'd like to recognize is Shipra. Shipra, where are you? So Shipra, unfortunately I do not know you too well personally, but the way Tanvi spoke about you, it absolutely blew me away. You were told, I was told that you were one of the most adaptable, flexible volunteers. Whichever committee she asked you, you would go. You would not for a second like say that I'm bored, I want to change. Nothing at all came from you, and which is why you definitely deserve this recognition. Thank you so much, Shipra. Next person, Bhavika. Bhavika, where are you? So another fun fact told to me about Bhavika was that she lifted more weight than all of the boys in the volunteer team. Great job, Bhavika, and apart from that, I was told you were extremely resourceful. At any point of time, say anything was needed, scissors, tape, you would just immediately go and get it. Again, no complaining, extremely adjustable, and thank you so much for your contributions. I was told you were extremely helpful and valuable to our team, so thank you a lot, Cherry. Next up, Krishna. Oh yeah, I know why that huge cheer is there, because guess what? Krishna started the dancing yesterday. Yeah. He was the first guy to start dancing and hype up the life of the socials. Apart from that, Krishna too has studied with me in the Orchid School. He was 1 year junior to me, but he was one of the nicest guys I've ever come across. I would sometimes try to help him out with maths, and he would always be so thankful for it. And yeah, Krishna, again, thank you so much for coming to Utopia, man, and thank you so much for being such a valuable part for us. Next up, Ritik. Ritik is also a person I've actually grown up with. He lives like 2 houses away from me. And one more thing which Ritik did is 2 nights before the conference, Amay and I were just sitting in my house around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. We were trying to make the delegate kits, and who do we know lives right next to us? We called up Ritik, and even though it was 1 a.m., he came to my house. He helped us with the delegate kits. Extremely valuable contribution. Again, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. In fact, I was just talking to one of my friends last night that what do you think of Ritik? And he's like, yeah, the most genuine and golden-hearted guy I've ever seen. So Ritik, you are one of my best friends, and thank you so much for volunteering over here. And last up, birthday boy, where are you? Maitre? Yeah, as I said, it's his birthday today, guys. Even though it was his birthday, he spent the whole day at Utopia Model United Nations, which is a lot to say. Thank you so much for your commitment to this project. I remember seeing you the first time yesterday morning, and instantaneously I felt like this is a guy who I can trust. Like, if I tell him to do something, he's not going to give me no for an answer, whatever happens. So yeah, thank you so much, Maitri, and again, happy birthday from all of us at Utopia. Next up, Kaya and Sarvesh. Karan and Sarvesh, where are you guys? They're the ones standing right next to the video. So, I'll talk about each of them individually. Kaya is hands down, according to me, if you guys remember, I said like the exact same words last year. She's a genius at what she does. I've been working with her since my first ever individual venture, which was Utopia Pune, the NGO, and she has been working with me, and each and every time she just amazes me with her work. The video was all Kaya and Sarvesh, who I just come to, but Kaya, you are absolutely one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, and thank you in spite of such short notice. I think I just asked you 2 days before whether you'll come for the video, but you were there. Thank you so much, Kaya. Sarvesh, There's Sarvesh, the other camera. I didn't know Sarvesh at all before the conference. And Sarvesh, first of all, thank you so much for like tolerating my constant requests for hot shots. And I think you delivered a very like nice shot. I don't think I can qualify as a hot shot, but still, like, thank you so much. Again, extremely talented. I was blown away by the video which both of you came up with, and you seem like an incredibly fun person, and stay the way you are. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much, Sarvesh. Next up, Ali. Ali, where are you? There he is. He's again right next to the camera. So, those of you who don't know, Ali was a part of the Utopia Amian OC last year. This year, he was not able to be a part of the OC, but regardless of that, he came both days of the conference and helped out each and every place we could. We needed a chair sometimes, he'd go and chair there. We'd need some logistical help, he'd come and help out over there. I think this just goes to show how much like we value Ali as a part of our family, and how much Ali as well, I hope, loves us back, because we definitely love him a lot. And Ali, I've known you since like a lot of years, and you strike me as one of the most dynamic people I've ever met. Thank you so much for again being part of our team this year. And yeah, huge round of applause for Ali. Next up, Siddharth. There he is, our compare for the day. So Siddharth was one of the, I think, yeah, the first guy I've ever called my best friend in life. He too has grown up with me, third standard. You guys heard about the story which he told you, but we know like everything about each other. He's one of the first numbers I call in case anything goes wrong, and we've had discussions on literally every topic in the world, so many topics that I don't even feel like telling you about it because you'll judge us both extremely. But yes, he's just a friend. He's not been a part of the organizing committee, but still he agreed to host the closing ceremony. He's been here both days as well. He in fact slept over on Friday to help us out with the delegate kits as well. And yeah, Siddharth, thank you for being there with me each and every step of my life up till now. And you've been my best friend, and you always will be. I can't wait for the day 20, 30 years down the line when we're still sitting like this and just discussing more and more random topics. Thank you so much, Siddharth. Next up is Veer. Is Veer here? Okay, I don't think he's here, but those of you who don't know, Veer was, he performed stand-up comedy yesterday. He definitely tickled my funny bone. He performed last year at Human as well, and he is definitely one of the most strange in a good way and funny guys I know. And he agreed to come here without taking any kind of remuneration or something, even though it was all in Baner. And those of you who follow his Instagram and Facebook know how much he cringes about Baner. But yes, he came all the way here, and yeah, I believe that everyone enjoyed his performance. So thanks, Veer, even though he's not here. And in lieu of that, Sahil, I saw Sahil here. He must be here somewhere. Sahil Kale? He left. Oh man. Those of you who don't know, Sahil Kale started off his stand-up comedy career last year at Utopia Man, and up till date he has opened for Biswa, Saurabh Pant and other amazing stand-up comics who I don't even know their names. But still, not only that, he's also organizing events for Vipul Goyal and other amazing stand-up comics on a weekly basis. In fact, right after his performance yesterday at Human, he had to travel somewhere else to give another show. And yeah, Sahil has been born with us at Utopia Man, and he's always managed to make me laugh. He turns up at my house randomly in the middle of the week. He sometimes even wakes me up. There's been a time when I was asleep, he came and he knocked my head and he woke me up. So yeah, he's been a great friend, and thank you so much, Sahil, even though you're not here. And in lieu of that, third performer for yesterday was Rahil. Rahil, in fact, was a student of the Orchid School, and I didn't think much of him the first time I saw him. Then slowly as the months progressed and like I got more adjusted to Orchid, I would randomly get his messages on Facebook. Please like my page on and with his tracks, with his music tracks, and I'm like, oh wow, cool, this guy's trying to do something new. But I got the real shock of my life when last night, instead of him, his manager came up to speak to me, and he was all like, I am Rahil's manager, let's talk about payment. And it was just like an entire wow moment for me, that from this guy, from him starting off, is now having his manager talk to us. It was really amazing. And yeah, again, thanks to Rahil a lot for performing yesterday at our socials. Next up, Rutuja. She's not here, but as you guys know, she is the Secretary General of Utopia Model United Nations. She has helped out our organizing committee as much as she could, and she's been a valuable part of our team. She's not here, she's in London, but again, thanks so much to us, Rituja. And Tanay, Nellari, are you here? Are you still working? Tanay is here. Tanay has been the head of photography of Human since a few years, and every year he takes better and better and better photographs. Again, Tanay is also one of those few people who always entertains my requests. Tanay, please take nice pictures of me. Take nice picture of me right now. I'm coming to you after the show. But thank you so much, Tanay. He's been a huge, important part to our OC. He's not just the IP head, he's also OC member. Oh, by the way, Sahil Kale is here. I've not worn my specs, but I think that is Saleh. Yeah, that's what comes out of my mouth when I try to say your name, Sahil. But yeah, now that Sahil is there, can you please have again a round of applause for him? Coming back to Tanay, great photographer, and again a very, very supportive part of our team. He's never said no to me. So thank you so much, Tanay. And now the most important part and the last part of my speech over here is that, I'll be very, very brutally honest with you. I don't deserve to stand here right now, and I don't deserve to be getting the applause which I got. Because, to be very honest, I don't think I did more work than even half of the organizing committee this year. I was away sitting in the United States of America, enjoying my life over there, while over here, everyone was going helter-skelter with their work, while I was, and the OC knows this very well, I never pick up their calls, I never respond to their messages. Yeah, they hate me for it. But that is why the organizing committee this year has been the most vital part of our organization as a whole. So now we're going to move on to talking about each organizing committee member. I just request that once I do take your name, don't just stand up, come onto stage, and just come onto stage so that everyone can see your face even better. But moving on, first member of the organizing committee, he is not here, unfortunately. Akshat Killa, he in fact did all of our designs this year. The graphics, everything you saw on our social media was him. And from the response in the surveys we took, people really seemed to like his work, so thank you so much. He's in fact in Mumbai. He doesn't live in Pune, but yeah, he did a great job at whatever he was doing. Next up, Vaibhav Makkar, he's also not here, but he was in charge of our website. And he's actually such a nice guy. He never asked me for any form of remuneration. He just said that I just want to help out a great organization as much as I can. And he really did a great job at that. I personally love our website. It has a great design to it. But yeah, thanks Vaibhav. Moving on, again, third member of the organizing committee is not here, and I promise this is the last one. It's Siddesh Patil. He was our assistant director for finances. In fact, last year he was a volunteer, and he was one of those volunteers who are just who we gave a special mention to. So from that, he has progressed to being a member of our organizing committee. One of the very nice people. Again, very soft-spoken but very efficient at his work. Did a great job at handling our finances. So thank you, Siddesh. In fact, right now he's playing football at some training camp. So he's been doing great for himself in that area. So yeah, it's been great. Moving on, and now we start with the actual organizing committees present. Anamay Deshpande. So Anamay served as the Assistant Director of Human Resources. He was one of the people who was responsible for managing all of our amazing volunteers. And I guess a leader can do only as good as the people who are following him or her. And given that we had such an incredible team of volunteers this year, I believe that a lot of credit does go to Anamay for being able to effectively manage them so well. Thank you so much, Anamay. Next up, we have Amog. What was the name just given to him by
Grindelwald.
Johnny Depp? Oh, and Grindelwald and Justin Bieber. He looks like all of them. His hair is way too wacky for my liking. But still, I remember interviewing him, okay, and to be honest, at first, we were choosing between two people for a single spot. And that decision was so hard that ultimately we had to make an assistant director of marketing, which is the post which Amog does occupy. Really impressive guy, really funny guy. As a lot of people have told me, he's quite interesting and quite fun. I think his hairstyle characterizes his personality. But he's also played a major part in all of the memes which you guys saw on our Instagram page. A lot of the ideas were his, so thank you so much, Amog, for hopefully making the delegates laugh. Did he? Yes. I don't know how much of that is true, but yes, we've always loved Tanmay. Tanmay was the director of marketing, always messaging me with new strategies to try and get more delegates. He's also been such a valuable part to our team, and especially on the day of the event, he did a major role in making sure the committee flow was great, everything was going good. So thank you so much, Tanmay, for ensuring that this event was smooth. Next up, we have Tanvi. Tanvi and I both volunteers, especially. I see them standing up back, and that speaks about, of course, Director of Human Resources. So I've known Tanvi for quite a few years now. She too was studying in the Orchid School with me, and even though she looks so nice, so quiet, so cute, this is exactly the words again I said last year, but the volunteers will agree with me, she's one of the scariest people you'll ever meet. And yeah, looks can be deceptive. But Tanvi has, again, as I said, a leader is only as good as his or her followers. So the 30 volunteers were amazing, and as a result, we can see that Tanvi had a major role in it. Tanvi was one of the few members of the walkie-talkie. I remember whenever I wanted, Tanvi sent 2 volunteers to this location. I would get 2 volunteers within 5 minutes. So Tanvi, thank you so much for all of your contributions over the years at Utopia. Next up, this is a guy I look up to, literally. Parth Radhika. I remember meeting him last week at some place, and I was like, dude, do you grow each time I meet you? Because like, wait, let him pass by. Yeah. I literally come up to his neck, and it's really intimidating, but Parth is one of the funniest guys I've ever come across. One of the most fun guys to talk. On the walkie-talkie, he was singing songs at will. Like, I think, did you actually take song requests? Like, if a delegate asked, please sing this song, we would get that song on the walkie-talkie. You did?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Oh, so you did that all by your own will?
Yeah.
Wow, that makes me look at you in a whole new light now. But again, Parth also, this joke was told to me by another OC member, but Parth is the most sorted guy, which is why he sorted our information systems very, very well. Our information systems, we refer to our Google Drive and all of our files online. And as Director of Information Systems, he did a great job at making sure all files were there and all files were ready at our convenience. Thank you so much, Parth, for your contributions. Alright, next up. Okay, no, I was just gonna crack a joke about how I look down upon her, but I actually don't. But again, I was trying to make a joke, literally, Nidhi. I literally look down upon her, but I figuratively look very much, I look up to her, don't worry, Nidhi. Nidhi was our director of communications, and all of the emails, everything that you received was from her. Extremely effective at whatever work she'd do. Like, believe me, director of communications is probably one of the hardest positions on our organizing committee, because there is literally work for you every single day. But Nidhi never gave us an opportunity to complain. Also, she too was helping out with the Instagram page, which had a lot of our memes. So again, if you found them funny, you know who to thank. Thank you so much, Nidhi, for being such an important part to me. Okay, next up, it's funny that she comes next because she too is someone I've literally looked down upon, but figuratively looked up upon, Arushi Tagore. Arushi was our director of finances, and also one of the most difficult jobs to do, because you're literally handling money which is going like north of $1 lakh rupees, which is a huge responsibility to bear upon. But this year, honestly, like even my mom was telling me that she gave no opportunity to complain. Since the bank account, these are personal details, but since the bank account goes to my mom, because I'm still not mature enough to handle my own money, the messages would go to my mom, but Arushi never gave my mom an opportunity to complain. Extremely responsible, and as I was telling her just a few years ago, like this year her work was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, Arushi. So with this next person, I had quite a fun conversation today. So we were just talking about like the first impressions I give off people, and she was telling me, you know what? The first time I met you, I was quite intimidated by you. But then I talked to you and I realized what a loser you were. Vedika, you want to get up? Vedika Rathore. She was a director of delegate relations. And again, very difficult job, but extremely well handled. You guys got to understand one thing, that when you do a post like delegate relations with your phone numbers going to so many delegates and so many people, oftentimes you get messaged and get called with some creepy people. And the cases were not short this year as well, but she handled them so maturely and so nicely that I feel she just deserves a round of applause for that. The common joke in our OC is her voice is ear candy. Do you guys agree? Voice is ear candy? Yes, exactly. But Vedika, over the past few months especially, has not just become a member of the organizing committee, but she's become one of my extremely close friends. She's one of the first people I message when I feel like there is something going wrong in my life. And same vice versa, I hope. But yes, thank you so much, Vedika, for all of your help to Utopia Man over the past 2 years. Thank you. Next up, we have Ashriya. Ashriya occupies the post of Office of the President, which means she had to basically handle my laziness because I was, as I just said, I was too lazy to pick up any calls or answer any messages, but Ashriya did all of that for me. And she too, the first time I interviewed her, I was just immediately impressed with her simplicity yet effectiveness. Last year in 2016, she immediately took upon the role of handling our social media, and immediately I would see posts going up without even me having the need to ask. Thank you so much, Ashriya, for all of your contributions both last year and this year. Thank you. A round of applause, please, for Ashriya. Next up, last year I made a joke saying that this girl should not be having a walkie-talkie next year, but you know that I did not mean it when she was the first person I did give a walkie-talkie to. Arita is right here. She's the executive vice president of Utopia MUN. She too has had to handle a lot of my laziness in terms of not answering calls and not answering messages. In fact, I've got memes from the OC tagging Arita which says that when a person doesn't answer their phone. And that's because I think if I counted the number of missed calls I have from everyone, Arita, your name is right up there, which just goes to show how dedicated she was to the cause. In spite of me not being there, she literally tried to look over the month as her own baby. She tried to make all the members work effectively. She tried to one by one get each task executed, and even on the days of the conference, she's such a valuable asset to us because she just never screws up. She's always right in what she does. Thank you so much, Arita. So the next person, when people ask me, like they see me hanging out with him quite a lot, they ask me, is he your best friend? I say, no, he's my brother. Because he literally is my brother. Amaya Lokhande. Yes, he's also the most popular guy in this side of town who explains that huge shirt and multiple people standing up for him. Yes, oh wow, a lot of people. So it's a common joke, not just amongst the OC, but in my entire friend group in my society. Amaya too lives a few doors away from me. That before Utopia Month 2016, Amaya Lokhande was nothing, and today after Utopia Month 2017, Amaya Lokhande is everything. He knows, I'm pretty sure some connections say he knows each and every person sitting in this room, and he's the most smooth guy with girls, right? Exactly. And as I said, he's not just been a friend, he's been a brother. He was more enthusiastic about Utopia Man when I started it than I was. He was a delegate in year 1, and immediately the day after the conference he came out to me and he's like, dude, chup बैठ तो मेरे को OC में ले, नहीं तो दोस्ती खत्म. And thankfully I took him in the OC and dosti is as strong as ever. But it's not just our personal relationship, but he is the most hardworking person I know. He was the director of logistics, not just the director of logistics, sorry, he was in fact the chief operating officer for this MUN, and which is why he arranged all of the logistics. He made sure that the day was flowing smoothly in terms of in committee. And again, most hardworking guy, he'd be traveling every single day for Utopia Man work, especially in the last few weeks. And that level of commitment, to be honest, is not even 100 times of what I put in. It's more than 100 times of what I put in, is what I meant to say. But thank you so much, Amaya, for being there for me and for being there for Utopia Man. So next up is quite an interesting case, in fact. Yash Charbe, he was part of the organizing committee last year, 2016 conference, but once we announced agendas, he realized that he would rather prefer to chair a committee, which is why he moved off the OC. But once we started work on 2017, he jumped right back in, and as especially the EB and all the delegates know, like he has not complained about his post. His post changed from assistant director of logistics to assistant of the Secretary General to executive office of the Secretary General to finally Deputy Secretary General. But over the past 2 days, Yash, you have proved that you were pretty much the Secretary General of this conference, and that is a big, big load, and that is an immense amount of work which you put into this. And thank you so much, Yash. Like, Yash handled all of the allocations almost single-handedly. He definitely had help, but most of the work was put in by Yash, and he spent sleepless nights doing allocations. I've had a number of cranky phone calls with him, and again, I was completely at fault each and every time because, as I said, I had no right to shout at him given the work he was doing. So thank you so much, Yash. And next up, this guy is the most special case ever. Last year, so this guy in fact was part of my first school, St. Mary's School in Pune, and he was a year younger than me, and I frankly never thought much of him. I'm like, okay, he's just a junior. Last year, he came to the conference as a volunteer, and I was like, okay, like, fine, Abhay Kapoor, hi, how are you doing? Long time no see. But last year, he literally, I will use these words, he saved my ass. Because honestly, without Amay, there would not have been proper food for the delegates. There would not have been smooth flowing committees at all. And Amay, even though he was just a volunteer at that time, he handled everything as if this was his own conference. That led me immediately to, within a few months when I started work on Utopia in 2017, I'm like, Amay, I really want you to be charge the affairs of this conference. And he was like, of course, I will do it. And Amay, to be honest, is the guy who can take anything straight to his heart. Like Utopia MUN, he's just joined the OC this year, but he has been, if I said 100, like even more, 1,000 times more dedicated than I was. Amay, in fact, he lives near St. Mary's School, he lives near camp, and those of you who live there know how far Baner is from there. But he literally drove back and forth every day for the last 2 weeks. And not just that, he and Amaya, like at 11 a.m., 11 a.m. noon, which is when I generally wake up, he'd come in, he'd knock my head, wake me up. I definitely hate him and want to kill him at that moment. But to be honest, without that, we would not be having this conference. I would not be standing in front of you today. Amay is the most reliable person I've ever met. In fact, while I was doing my speech, I just told him, Amay, tu agla ghanta sambhal le. The next hour is completely yours. I have complete faith in you. And Amay just never sambhal lunga. I'm like, what, are you going to dig a water pipe over there? I don't know what he did, but actually water came. So Amay, again, like my personal favorite, most reliable person on the organizing committee, which is why I think you deserve a special round of applause. Amay Kapoor, charge the affairs. So before I end this long speech, there's this one last logistical announcement I'd like to make. I kept this off till the last because this, as I said, is probably the last time I'd ever be delivering a logistical announcement to a big crowd. So it sounds different, but yeah, I just wanted to do it at the end. As you all probably know, this is probably going to be the last edition of Utopia Model United Nations. We are not having it next year. Sorry? This is probably going to be the last edition, but still, we don't want you guys as delegates to stop coming to MUNs, which is why I feel it to be my responsibility to let you guys know about another MUN conference which is coming in a few months, Eureka Model United Nations. Eureka Model United Nations is started by Yog, who is part of our executive board. And this year we have collaborated with them in the sense that delegates who have participated in Utopia MUN will get a certain cash discount, which I believe is 200 rupees if they register for Eureka. And if you want to prize, the amount goes even higher. I believe it's 500 for Best Del, 400 for HiCom, and 300 for Special Mention. There are also amazing cash prizes at Eureka Model United Nations, which I think are at around 10,000 rupees. So you guys should definitely attend. If you guys want more details about this, Yog is staying here after this finishing speech. He's come here with forms. Feel free to stop by and collect some forms or just talk to him about any kind of details about the conference. So yeah, with that, again, it's the last time I'm doing this, and I know, extremely emotional. Thank God I didn't break into tears in the middle of this speech. But oh yeah, sorry, before I forget, wow, I became senti way too fast. Another volunteer which I forgot to mention is Antoinette. I hope I pronounced it correctly. She handled the roast stall, and not just the roast stall. In fact, I suddenly found her making iced tea in a corner, and she happened to be selling it later. Thankfully, I got it for free because, like my friend who's actually sitting in the front right there, he does amazing card tricks. He showed her a card trick, and we managed to get that for free. Yeah, so Antonia single like organized the roast all by herself and with the help of a few volunteers. But it was her brainchild. She did iced tea. She even sold brownies, notebooks, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which was definitely a hit. And she was extremely dedicated to her cause. So thank you so much. And yeah, now finally I will do it. So this is my gavel, which this year I personally got made, thankfully, to say bye-bye once and for all for Utopia Model United Nations. But with this, I would like to declare not just Utopia Model United Nations 2017, but Utopia Model United Nations formally closed.